Hi, and welcome to Visual Imaging Solutions. We've added a new camera to our collection of tools, and I'm going to introduce you to that camera right now. It's a little bit unorthodox for 2025 to have added this particular camera, but let me show you what it is coming up next, and we'll talk about why we added it to our collection. You might think we're crazy because in 2025 we bought the Cinema EOS camera. What Cinema EOS camera is it? It's the Canon C300. Not the C300 Mark II, not the C300 Mark III, but the original Canon C300 from 2012. Why would we buy a 2012 cinema camera in 2025? Well, let's talk about some of the reasons real quick. First, the first Cinema EOS camera that I shot with was in 2013, and it was the Canon C100. Always thought it had a beautiful picture, but the company I worked for didn't want to spend the money on a C300, and I don't blame them. I don't think they needed it. However, the C300, which came out a little bit ahead of the C100, has a better codec, has better noise performance, and in other respects is roughly the same, uses the same sensor. And it has all the things you need in a professional camera. And personally, I always wanted a C300. I thought, boy, that's got to be the greatest camera ever when it came out, and I just wanted to have one in our collection, and the price was right. Let's talk about price for a second. For about the price that we paid for this used Canon C300, we could have purchased, say, a Canon R50V. Why didn't we? The R50V is 4K, technically probably has better image quality in theory than the C300, but it lacks all of the features that the C300 has that really makes it a convenient professional camera for us even in 2025. So let's go around the other side of the camera and I'll point out the most important feature for us. So one of the most important features for us is the ability to use professional audio inputs. And right here we have our Rode NTG3 microphone, shotgun microphone, mounted right to the camera. That is a really great microphone. The audio quality from that microphone, it just has to be heard to be believed. It's really, really very nice. And that requires phantom power through a full-size XLR, and the C300 gives us that. Now, previously we were shooting this microphone on our XF300, which is a great camera, and we do like it. It's not the best camera for every situation, and we wanted to be able to use this microphone in those situations where that camera wasn't going to perform the way we needed it to. So now we have that ability with the C300, and the preamps, everything with this audio system are exactly the same as the XF300, so we know what we're going to get. We know how to work with it. We've been using that system for audio with the XF300 for many, many years. So this is right in keeping with our experience, fits perfect with our workflow. So that's the first thing, and something like the R50V is not going to provide that ability to use that microphone or other professional audio inputs. We could have also looked at one of the newer C-series cameras, but we just didn't want to spend that kind of money. So like a C400. We've shot on a C400, but that's a little bit expensive. A C500 Mark II. We've shot on a C500 Mark II, but we didn't want to invest that level of money at this point in the C500 Mark II. A C300 Mark III certainly would be a great camera. We really like the dual gain sensor in that camera. But again, we just don't, at this point, don't want to invest that level of money into that particular camera. While this gets us a long way to the same level of capability at a tiny fraction of the price, really an R50V price or even slightly less. So come around over, here's another feature we really like. On the back of the camera is another feature we really, really like, which is kind of specific to this camera because other cameras that are newer than this have gone away from this technology, but this camera shoots on dual CF cards. Now, many people would say that's a downfall of this camera. Something better like a CF Express, faster, more modern, more capable, would be better. But in my opinion, for us, for our business, this is the way to go. because we have a lot of CF cards. We've been shooting professionally for 2 decades, and we've acquired tons of CF cards, and this makes use of assets we already have, and we've had good luck with CF cards. Now, another thing with this camera and these CF cards really is a feature we really like, because sometimes we shoot long events and need long recording times, and right now I have loaded into this camera 2 128 gigabyte cards, and a 128 gigabyte card by itself gives over 300 minutes of recording time. So if we do relay recording, where it records first to camera or card C and then records to card B, that gives us over 600 minutes of recording time. Alternatively, and this is what we usually do, we can simultaneously record with this camera to both cards, and that gives us an immediate backup. So we have over 300 minutes of record time on CFA, and we record an exact duplicate at the same time, at the same level of quality on CFB, so we have a complete backup file, and just in case something happens with one card, we aren't losing everything. While we've never had that situation, it's nice to have that kind of redundancy. That's really, really nice. And the other thing, finally, about this camera that we really like, it's not the only thing, but file sizes. These file sizes, because this is a 4K sensor that downscales to 1080p, makes file sizes that are really easy to manage, and storage is a real challenge. When we shoot long form video for our clients, we can eat up 4 terabytes of SSD space very, very quickly when we're using the 4K and 6K Blackmagic camera, 1DX Mark II, 5D Mark IV, XC10. Those cameras in 4K and 6K produce enormous file sizes, and they eat up space like crazy. Is it worth it sometimes? Absolutely, because the image quality is great, but sometimes we just need a smaller file to work with, and this gives us that. Now, surprisingly, I think this upscales back to 4K from this 4K sensor in this camera beautifully, and we're going to see that in this video. Finally, the last thing to point out, and this is by no means unique to the C300, but this camera has built-in ND filters. And those built-in ND filters are lifesavers, because the sensor performs really well in low light, which tells you that it has very strong light gathering capability, which impacts bright conditions as well. So very easily we can have to shoot at a very stopped down lens aperture unless we use ND filters. So having ND filters gives this camera a great amount of flexibility. So in short, those are some of the key reasons why we invested a few $100s in this old cinema camera. Let's take a look at some of the image quality that you can get with this cinema camera in 2025. Just gonna get a little detail of this birch tree. Now I'm going to get a little detail of this area right here. Okay, so I just used one of the cinema gamma profiles that come with the camera, and I'm now going to switch to a C-Log profile. that I've modified slightly. Instead of using the standard C-Log or just the base C-Log, I've set up a C-Log profile that uses C-Log with an EOS standard color matrix, which changes the color a little bit more in line with what you naturally see versus the standard C-Log, which has a color matrix that's a little bit different, that Canon liked and recommended. But we're going to use the EOS standard color matrix with C-Log in the picture profile I'm going to switch to right now. And I'm going to pull up the waveform monitor to check my exposure. And that looks like a good log exposure in the waveform right now, I think. So we're going to go with that. Okay, those are a few sample shots with the C300. Denise is going to shoot some photos now of the old logging dam here on the river, and we're going to do some video of Denise taking some nature shots. Oh, fresh coffee for me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, honey. Very good. So, what do you think of this place?
It's beautiful. I love it.
Kind of cold, but peaceful and quiet out here.
Mm-hmm. Trees are beautiful, aren't they?
Big trees. Otherwise, we're going to do our wrap up, and only the squirrels are going to know it.
I'm short. You're on the tall.
I'm on a tall stump, but you're short anyway. You got a hair underneath your glasses there.
Oh, thank you, honey. So, my hands are a little icy.
Why are your hands icy?
It's a little cold out here.
It's warming up. It's almost getting too warm. Yeah, it's definitely summertime out here today.
Yeah, I get a little nippy in November.
Yep. Well, that's a little video with the Canon C300 from 2012, and it's really fun to shoot with. It's a great camera to just bring out and do a fun video adventure with out here in the woods of the Northwoods by a lake and a river.
And like usual, it's gorgeous.
It's just beautiful out, the sun coming through the trees.
Yeah.
So we think this is going to make some really beautiful images that we're happy to share with you, but we haven't even seen them yet ourselves. We're talking about it before we even get them back and put them on the computer. So
let us know what you think.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy it. And we'll have a lot more with the Canon C300 coming up in future videos. It's going to be a key part of our video package for our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so please hit that subscribe button.
And like it too, if you don't mind. We appreciate it.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.